Hi, welcome to Professor Kep's show. As you can see, I got Noah and Kevin with us from Smart Escape. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us, Kev.
Thank you.
So let's start at the beginning. Tell us a little bit about Smart Escape. Why'd you start this idea?
So this idea started out as a kind of a school project with Noah and I back in our sophomore year of high school. We went into the class not really knowing what to do. It was an entrepreneurship kind of competition almost. We had no idea what to do. So I went to my father, who is a firefighter, and kind of drew some inspiration from him. And he kind of gave us the idea for Smart Escape. We got really good feedback during that presentation and during that, competition that we were in. And we decided to continue it on. And now here we are today.
I'm just kind of chuckling at your answer, Kevin, in a good way, because this happens in class all the time when I teach intro to entrepreneurship. They don't have an idea. I'm gonna go home, ask mom and dad, grandparents, neighbors, because they probably have something like, well, if you're in a class, here's something I've seen that would work. And just from your dad just giving you that idea to what you've accomplished with it is really amazing because it just stinks when students are saying that we don't have an idea. I'm like, well, go talk to people, go find one. So for once, a student actually did that. So it just makes me smile. I'm like, thank God someone actually listened to that advice because I just, unfortunately, being a little older, we've seen things that, all right, here's something you can solve for me and stuff. So no, let's talk a little bit about Smartscape. What does it actually do?
So, Smart Escape is a dynamic evacuation system. So, for example, if there's a fire in the building, you're trained to go to a specific exit, which is typically the fastest possible exit. That is not always the safest course of action that you can take. What Smart Escape does is it will guide you out of the building along the safest possible path instead of the quickest. So this will help reduce panicked decision making, or if you're unfamiliar with the building, it will guide you to safety.
No, I'm chuckling at your answer too, in a good
Okay.
way, because I remember being younger and like in school, whatever, there was like a drawing on the wall, what
Yeah.
to do to exit. And if there's a fire, like, all right, so which way is that? No one's taking the time to go look at the drawing on the wall, going, all right, now, Kev, is that the staircase they're talking
Yeah,
about? Like,
half the time it's upside down,
yeah,
facing the wrong
it's like,
way.
oh, you're like it was on the wall last week. Where'd it go? Someone took it down to put up some artwork or something and stuff. So this is gonna help guide people to the safest way because, like you said, hey, we're going out that door, but what if we can't go out that door? Like, oh, geez, I don't even know my way around the building. I don't know where the next exit is and stuff. So this will detect where potential fire is and guide you away from it, right?
Exactly. And in addition to that, when the firefighters show up, it's going to bring them directly to the fire. So they also don't have to look at a map. So they're following red lights, bringing them to the fire. People evacuating, following the green lights, which bring you to the exits.
That's amazing because we don't take the time to think about buildings that may be very large or have it's 80 stories. You're like, whoa, all right, they went off, but where? So it looks and says, okay, this is the detector that got triggered, so it must be somewhere near there. That's how it works.
Exactly.
So it's very, like you said, very interesting. As we were joking before the show, I used to be CFO of a bank and I'm cheap, but even when I heard this, I'm like, I'm cheap, but this makes sense because I'm putting everyone's safety ahead of money.
Yeah.
And no one's ever gonna, say like you were joking when we know no one's ever been like, hey, no, that doesn't make sense. I mean, you have to really, really be cheap or really be mean to not see the value in it and stuff. So it's kind of cool. So what's been the experience so far? What have you been able to accomplish so far with this idea? You told me you have it installed someplace, right?
Yep. So we currently have a system installed in Blackstone Valley Tech in Upton. It's a high school, pretty big one. So far we've received fantastic feedback on the system. We've started to bring people through tours of the school to kind of show them like this is what it could look like in your building, right? And we've gotten some really good feedback, and we have some good prospects in the pipeline.
Now, Noah, when we talked a little bit before the show, you mentioned that there's some other potential uses for this system. What would those be?
Oh, absolutely. There is some simpler uses for the system. Like we have queued for development a guided tour system. So it can just help people navigate buildings in non-emergency scenarios. We can also set it up so that it helps medical professionals or first responders in non-fire environments or non-fire events get to a certain point in the building to react to whatever emergency is going on.
Wow.
Take a medical emergency, for example. But the big one that we really want to get into in the future, and we're working hard to develop it right now, is an active shooter response mode. So we'll be able to tell the people in the building when to hide, when to prepare to fight, and when to run. And when they run, we can tell them where they should run to remain the safest.
How does that work though? Because, I understand the fire concept, but an active shooter is moving. How would it know like which way they are moving?
So just like how in fire you have a smoke detector which senses fire, they now have new technologies such as AI cameras and gunshot detectors, which can locate active shooters in a building. So just like we evacuate from fire, we have different algorithms for active shooter. So we can pinpoint the location of the shooter and then basically recommend whether you should evacuate, lock down, or get ready to fight.
But now, as this person's moving, the cameras are picking them up. Is it giving you like, okay,
Yep,
they went left, so now go right instead, or go
yep,
down the staircase. So I'm just
const
just watching green the whole time.
yep, constantly updating, just like the fire. So as the fire spreads, the lights will change and update.
That is just amazing, all you can accomplish with that system and stuff. Which again, we're joking about it, not a joke. It's really hard to say no to that,
Yeah,
because of all the uses it has, especially, you mentioned medical earlier. God forbid, I'm an older person, so something happens to me in the building. I want, someone to get to me as quickly as possible. And not like, oh, I thought Kev was on the third floor. That's his office, but he was up on the fifth floor for a meeting. I want him to know exactly where I am because a couple seconds could make the difference and stuff. So what else should we know about the system? Obviously, I'm impressed with it. That's kind of obvious and stuff. But is there anything else people would want to know about the system and the uses that could help them understand the value of it?
um, I think, that if you want a safer building, Smartscape is for you, We can do fire, we can do lockdown, we can do all this stuff. I think the value really speaks for itself.
Yeah, now, and what's neat about this is it can obviously scale. So if I'm someone that has a huge building, or maybe it's, many stories high, they can just scale it to meet the needs of the business, right? Or if I add another building on, can just
Yep,
scale it right over.
yep, it's customized for every building.
Cool deal. So what's the best way for people to reach out to if they want to learn more?
People can reach out to us on our website, smartescapeusa.com. And from there that we have our social media and everything. But the best way is through our website.
Awesome. I appreciate you both taking a few minutes to call on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thanks for having us, Kev.
It was lovely being here. Thank you.